how are you? In our chapter Light, Shadows and Reflections, we shall study pinhole camera today. Pinhole camera is a very simple device which at one time was used to take photographs of stationary objects. Stationary objects means those objects which are not moving. It is not complicated in nature and based on the principle that light travels in a straight line. The fact that light travels in straight lines makes it possible to project a picture on a screen at the camera or a slideshow. We can even use a hole in a card to make a picture on a screen. The pinhole camera is made from a box with one side cut out and replaced with a sheet of tracing paper. This is the screen. A sample pinhole is made in the side opposite to the screen. When the pinhole is pointed at a light source such as a lamp, an image of the lamp will appear on the screen. Let us perform the following activity to construct the pinhole camera. Material required: 2 cardboard boxes, rectangular or cylindrical A and B, such that one box can slide tightly on the other. Box, black paint, brush, common pen, tissue paper or rice paper, some adhesive gum, a small candle, a matchbox and a black cloth. Method: take the bigger cardboard box A and cut its one side. In the opposite side, mark a point in its middle. At this point, make a small hole H with the help of a common pin, or that is all pin. This is a hole of the size of a pinhead and is commonly called pinhole. Paint this box black from inside and allow it to dry. Take the smaller cardboard box B and cut it from both sides. On one side, fix a tissue paper with the help of adhesive. This tissue paper acts as the screen of pinhole camera. Paint this box black from inside and outside and allow it to dry. This is A, this is hole H and this is B. When the paint dries on the both sides, slide the box B into slide box A. Your pinhole camera is ready. Now light a small candle and fix it on the table. In front of the lighted candle, place the pinhole camera. Put the black cloth over the cardboard tube B and over your head. Look through the cardboard tube. What we will observe? We will observe that we can see the image of this flame like this. It will be inverted, that means upside down, and we can trace it on the paper. This is simple pinhole camera. We know that all the rays which start from a luminous point travel in all directions in a straight line. Let us take 2 such points P and Q. That is tip of this flame and base A and B. A and B. Now a ray of light which starts from point P along PH will pass through the pinhole and hence meets the screen at P dash. This is P dash. This passed through PH and reached here. Q1 started from here, passed through H and reached at Q dash. Similarly, a ray of light which starts from point Q along QH will pass through the pinhole and hence meet the screen at Q1. Much the same way, the right ray starting in between the points P and Q will meet the screen in between the points P1 and Q1. Thus P1 and Q1 is the inverted image of the candle PQ. Inverted means upside down. Now what are the characteristics of the image in pinhole camera? Image is inverted. It means it is upside down as compared to the object. See here, it is this and image is upside down. Slim is in downside and base is in upside. Second, image is diminished, which means it is smaller than in comparison to the size of object. Object is of this size, image is of just this size. So it is diminished. It means diminished. The detail of the object such as color, size, etc. are clear in the image. Image is clear in all other aspects. So what changes took place in the image? More than one pinhole becomes bigger than more than one ray from given point in object will enter to the pinhole camera. This will result in the formation of two or more images overlapping on one another. This on the whole forms a diffused or blurred image of the. So if we enlarge this or increase the size of this pinhole, image will get blurred. How to see solar eclipse with pinhole camera? What caution should be taken? What caution should be remembered that never see the sun directly during solar eclipse. It is very harmful for the eyes and can cause blindness. The time at which solar eclipse is going to take place is widely advertised in media, just like it was done on the 21st June this year. Just 15 minutes before the start of the solar eclipse, fix your pinhole camera in the direction of the sun and cover it with black cloth. Lifting the black cloth from the side screen, obtain the image of sun. It will be a brighter circular spot on screen. Watch this image when solar eclipse starts. You will notice that circular image of sun becomes crescent, less bright, and then disappears. It again reappears as crescent and gradually grows in the size and finally becomes bright circular spot. So this is how you can see solar eclipse from your own pinhole camera. Pinhole camera in nature. When tree is covered with a large number of leaves, then sometimes a very small gap of the size pinhole is formed within two leaves. Thus a large number of natural pinholes are formed by the overlapping leaves. When the sunlight passes through these pinholes, each pinhole forms the image of sun. These multiple images of the sun overlap to oval patches of the light in the form of oval patches of light in the shadow of tree, which we can observe easily. Now, what are shadows? When a beam of light shines on an opaque object, the light rays which reach the object are stopped, while those rays which pass by the edge continue on their path. A region without light forms behind the object. This is called shadow. So please underline this. From here, when a beam to a region without behind the object, and this region is called shadow. The object blocks the light, so the shadow is dark. An opaque object casts a dark shadow because it blocks all the light rays in its path, and we know that lights move in rectilinear path only. A translucent object produces a weak shadow, and a transparent object does not cast a shadow at all. Why does it happen? Because in translucent, much part of the sun rays gets passed through the object and reaches to the earth, so shadow cannot be casted. And in transparent, all the light rays pass without any absorption by the object, and hence no image. The shadow is always formed on the side of the object away from the source of light. If you put something like a pencil in the way of beam of light, you will get a shadow. For example, if I am putting this pencil and here is sun, shadow will be casted on the opposite side, that means on this side. Again, if I am putting this pencil in the front of sun rays or sunlight, and sun is on this side, then shadow will be formed at this side, at opposite side of the pencil. We never get a shadow when there is no source of light. We know that if we cannot find a shadow in dark, this is why, because light is not there. We can make very interesting shadows from our hands. So from the discussion, what we have concluded, that there must be a source of light and there must be an opaque body to obstruct the light to form a shadow. These two are the conditions for the shadows. Is there anything else required for the formation of shadow? Let us perform the activity. This activity should be carried out at night with 2 or more friends of yours. Also take torch and a large sheet of the cardboard. Ask one of your friends to stand in the dark, hold the torch close to the ground and shine it upward on the face of your friend. Try to find out if any shadow is formed. You will notice that no shadow is formed, in spite of the fact that there is a source of light as well as an opaque body. Now ask your second friend to hold the cardboard behind the head of your friend. What will you observe? A shadow is formed on the cardboard. Now the question arises from there, where the shadow appeared? Well, the shadow was already there. However, it can be seen only if it falls on something solid and opaque, such as cardboard, ground, etc. This solid opaque substance which receives shadow is called screen. Please underline this. Solid opaque substance which receives shadow is called screen. So what we have seen, that when we are casting the light on our friend's face, we were not getting any shadow because we didn't have any screen. And why it was happening? Because light rays which were not obstructed by his face were passing through straight and were going to the infinite distance, because there was nothing to hold back them. But when we placed a screen behind the shadow, then we saw shadow, because the rest of the rays which were passing around from his face started striking the screen and started reflected to our eyes. So now what are the conditions for the formation of shadow? There must be a source of light. There must be an opaque body to obstruct the light. There must be an opaque screen to receive the shadow, as it cannot be formed in air, which is transparent in nature. Size of the shadow. Size of shadow varies with the change in the position of the light source or position of the object. Take a torch to act as a source of light and a toy. Put the toy near a white wall. From a distance, light the torch and direct the beam of light on the toy so that the shadow appears on the wall behind it. Figure A, like this. Then the light cannot pass through the toy, so the shadow of the toy will be made on wall behind the toy. Switch off the torch and the shadow of the toy would disappear. Now move the torch further away from the toy. The shadow gets smaller. Figure B. Now shadow is getting smaller. Again move the torch close to the object and the shadow becomes very big. Figure C, like this. Now let the torch light fall on the toy from the above like this, and we will find that there is no shadow, or if shadow is being formed, it will here. Why light shines on the object from above, the shadow appears on the floor beneath the ground? Because, and it is very small. We must why it is happen? Because color of the shadow in these figures is dark. No. Color of the shadow always stays black irrespective of the color of the object. Another peculiarity about shadow is that as we keep increasing the distance between the screen and the object, the shadow becomes bigger and bigger, higher, and the scale is reached when we do not see any shadow at all. This is the reason why we do not see any shadow of the aeroplane and flying birds, but we do see their shadows when we find them close to the ground. So this is the reason. What happens? Shadow starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Finally it disappears. Likewise, the sun also casts the shadow of the earth and the moon in space, but there has to be a screen to notice it, so we cannot see the shadow of earth and moon. We call all such shadows as eclipses. We will study them later in this chapter. Thus we conclude the shadow is formed in the direction opposite to the direction of source of light. As the source of light moves, the shadow also moves. The length of the shadow changes according to the position of the source of light with respect to the object. The color of the shadow always stays black irrespective of the color of the object. Now we will study about types of the shadow. Shadow due to a smaller size of the light. If the source of light is very small, just as point source of the light, only one dark shadow is formed. This is known as umbra. Please underline this. This is the definition of umbra. But when if source of light is very small, such as pin source, then dark shadow, only one dark shadow is dark but sharp image will be formed, and that will be called umbra. Shadow due to larger source of light. If the source of light is big, such as candle or a bulb, there will be two shadows, a dark shadow called umbra in the center and a faint or lighter shadow called penumbra on the outside. If the light rays travel from the large source of the light, it will form two shadows, umbra and penumbra, as shown below. Please underline this. If light rays travel from distance and from a large source, then they will make umbra and penumbra like this. This is umbra, red spot is umbra, and blue spot is penumbra. Now, reflection of light. Your bedroom is probably full of objects, but if you were to awake in the middle of the night, you would not see them clearly because they are not luminous. That means they are not irradiating their own light. They are not giving their own light. You can only see them formally when your room is partially lit by street light or moonlight. The objects will not be clearly visible until sunrise or unless any lamp, bulb or any other light source is switched on. The way light is reflected from a surface depends on whether the surface is smooth or rough. The process of sending back the light rays which fall on the best reflectors of light is called reflection of the light. So the process where surface is smooth, then this is called reflection of light. This is the definition of reflection of light. Please underline it. The amount of light that is reflected depends upon on material and nature of the surface on which light falls. What we will find that, and if this image is if this light is falling on some rough surface, then we will get not a sharp image, but and this will call diffused reflection. what is usually called diffuse reflection. So, what is the conclusion? The phenomenon due to a beam light bounces off the surface of brightly polished surface in some another direction is called reflection of light. Please underline this. Yes, and here it is. If we start these images reflected by the mirror to various objects, we will find that if this reflected light which is being reflected from the mirror falls in some wooden object or book or image, wood will not shine, will not reflect, because rough surfaces do not reflect like they diffuse the light. So this was our chapter. In the next class we shall start our new chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day. God bless you.